By the year 2050, it's estimated that 70% of the world's population will be living in urban areas. But here's a startling reality.
Tonight in Florida, residents are still picking up the pieces after Hurricane Nicole earlier this month and Ian earlier this year. While the storms are now long gone, the damage to our coastlines in some cases will be permanent. Can anything be done to save some of our country's most beautiful beaches? Chief Meteorologist Ginger Zee files this in-depth report.
Nearly 90% of the largest global cities are vulnerable to rising sea levels, with some risking partial or near total submersion. Imagine cities, home to millions, turning into modern-day Atlantises, swallowed by the very waters that nurtured them. This isn't a distant dystopian future, it's a rapidly unfolding reality. As our planet grapples with the unprecedented challenges of climate change, rising sea levels, and urban overcrowding, there emerges a beacon of hope and innovation. Welcome to the world of floating city megaprojects, groundbreaking solutions that promise not just to adapt to this new reality, but to redefine the very essence of urban living. Today, we're diving into the heart of these marvels of modern engineering. Join us as we explore how cities like Oceanix Busan, Dogan City, and others are not just floating on water, but floating ideas that could reshape our world. Are you as intrigued by these groundbreaking projects as we are? If you are, make sure you're part of our growing community. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You'll be the first to embark on these explorations with us, delving into the fascinating world of innovation and future living. Let's dive right into our first megabuild marvel. It all started in 2019, when the UN Roundtable on Sustainable Floating Cities decided to build a prototype for a floating city in Busan. But wait, did it really start here? People worldwide are facing the effects of the climate crisis. Many worry about what the future holds, like more heat in cities, droughts in rural areas, and increased incidents of flooding and wildfires. In South Korea, the threat is very real, and policymakers are more willing to try unconventional solutions due to the intense pressure. One such idea is the floating city. Sometime in 2016, the aftermath of Typhoon Chaba swept through South Korea, leaving a path of devastation. This formidable typhoon, rivaling the strength of its 2003 predecessor, Mayemi, wreaked havoc across Ulsan, Busan, South Gyeongsang, South Jeolla, and Jeju. The toll was grim, with 7 lives lost, 4 missing, and countless homes damaged or destroyed. The city of Busan mourned 3 casualties, while Ulsan and Jeongju each counted 3 and 1 victim respectively. Among the fallen was an emergency worker, a hero engulfed by the floodwaters of Ulsan. The cityscapes bore the scars of Chaba's wrath, with over 300 homes damaged, 14 beyond repair, and businesses and vehicles succumbing to the tempest. Power outages plunged affected areas into darkness, disrupting schools, transportation, and daily life. Landslides and riverbank destruction further intensified the catastrophe. This natural upheaval reached the coast, causing havoc with colossal waves and a storm surge, breaching seawalls and leaving destruction in its wake. In the present day, echoes of tragedy still resound as heavy rains from July 9, 2023 once again plague South Korea. The Ministry of the Interior and Safety grimly reported 37 lives lost and 9 missing. The toll was distributed across provinces, with fatalities in Sejong, North Changcheong, South Changcheong, and North Gyeongsang. North Gyeongsang faced additional anguish with 8 missing persons and a bus tragedy in Osong, Cheongju City, where 9 souls perished in a flooded tunnel. The rising water levels collapsed an embankment, trapping vehicles and individuals inside. Elsewhere, North Gyeongsang bore the brunt of landslides and housing collapses, reporting 19 fatalities and 8 missing in Yecheong County. A sweeping search and rescue operation involving 2,400 personnel from fire departments, police and the military was activated for this incident. In South Changcheong and Sejong City, the toll rose with 4 and 1 casualties respectively. Nationwide, 35 people suffered injuries and 1 remains unaccounted for in the port city of Busan. The consequences of this deluge extended beyond human tragedy. agricultural lands, roads, and over 400 buildings bear the scars of nature's fury. Evacuations have uprooted nearly 9,000 people across 14 cities and provinces, with North Changchong accounting for 2,581 displaced individuals. As of July 16, 5,000 people remain displaced due to the ongoing risks involved. As if that isn't enough trouble, crashing waves marked the arrival of tropical storm Kanun on the Korean peninsula, specifically targeting Busan on Thursday, August 10, 2023. The tempest lashed South Korea, triggering a massive evacuation effort with over 10,000 people relocated and schools shuttered in flood-prone areas. As the storm's impact unfolded, South Korean authorities vigilantly prepared for the worst. More than a weather event, Kanun posed a threat that extended beyond the southern regions, with potential repercussions reaching North Korea's capital, Pyongyang. Reports from the northern state highlighted military and ruling party directives to implement flood mitigation measures and safeguard crops. The repercussions were felt across transportation networks as 350 flights and 410 train routes faced cancellation. The Interior Ministry reported the safe relocation of over 10,000 individuals, but the city of Daegu bore the brunt of Kanun's fury. Rescue efforts unfolded in this southern inland city, with rubber boats navigating submerged villages in search of any residents left behind. Tragedy struck as a 67-year-old man, discovered unconscious near a swollen stream, succumbed to the storm's wrath. Daegu's fire department official, Lee Ga-yong, confirmed the unfortunate demise. The meteorological agency documented the storm's intensity, reporting rainfall rates of up to 6 millimeters per hour in East Coast towns and wind speeds reaching 126 kilometers per hour in Busan. The storm disrupted daily life, impacting education during the summer holidays. Approximately 1,600 schools, nearly half offering summer classes, either closed or shifted to remote learning due to Kanun. Meanwhile, floods and landslides added to the challenges faced by schools in Gangwon, the eastern coastal province. In an unfortunate turn of events, the World Scout Jamboree, attended by 37,000 youngsters, found itself amidst the storm's chaos, disrupting the event. This is where the Oceanix Busan floating city comes in. After the UN Roundtable on Sustainable Floating Cities suggested the building of a prototype for floating cities with a host city in 2019, BIG, Bjarke Ingels Group, and Samsung Group, the lead architects, unveiled the plans for the Oceanix Busan in April 2022. Busan's current population is 3.4 million, and this city is widely known for maritime engineering. The location choice was made to add space to the city, which ranks the second largest in South Korea. Oceanix Busan is the proposed pioneering model for a sturdy and eco-friendly floating community set to redefine city living. Covering 6.3 hectares, this interconnected haven is tailor-made for 12,000 individuals, with each neighborhood serving a unique purpose, be it residence, research, or lodging. Picture 30,000 to 40,000 square meters of diverse spaces in every neighborhood, linked to the mainland by charming link-span bridges, framing a serene blue lagoon filled with floating hubs for recreation, art, and performances. The low-rise buildings, characterized by their gentle curves, boast terraces fostering indoor-outdoor living, creating lively public spaces. Oceanix Busan aims to adapt to rising sea levels, a consequence of a more than 20-centimeter increase since 1880, as reported by the US National Office of Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. With 2 out of every 5 people globally residing within 100 kilometers of the coast, and 90% of megacities vulnerable to rising sea levels, as per the United Nations Human Settlements Programme, UN Habitat, the need for innovative solutions is pressing. A Nature communication study reveals a nearly 50% increase in the global risk of coastal flooding from 1993 to 2015. The future forebodes further challenges, predicting annual flooding in coastal areas where 300 million people currently reside, beginning in 2050. UN Habitat, the Republic of Korea's Busan metropolitan city, and Oceanix are teaming up for this exciting project. Oceanix, a blue tech company specializing in floating cities, is taking the lead. Together, they aim to show coastal cities struggling with land shortages, often worsened by climate threats, a new way forward. The goal is not just to build floating cities, but to create floating cities that not only increase living space, but also tackle climate challenges. It's not just a one-time thing. Other vulnerable places like the Maldives are eyeing this approach too. Lucky you, we will talk about that too in this video. Their initiative, like Oceanix Busan, involves collaboration with renowned designers, engineers, and sustainability experts to develop flood-proof prototypes. Critical to the success of Oceanix Busan is the support from UN Habitat, a United Nations organization dedicated to fostering socially and environmentally sustainable cities. Their mission aligns with Sustainable Development Goal 11, striving for a better quality of life in an urbanizing world. Operating in over 90 countries, UN Habitat aims to bring about transformative change through knowledge, policy advice, technical assistance, and demonstration projects. Addressing the issue at a roundtable held at the UN headquarters in New York, Ms. Maimouna Mod Sharif, the executive director of UN Habitat, emphasized the need for innovative solutions to global challenges. She stressed the importance of inclusivity and equity in these efforts, ensuring that no one and no place is left behind. Ms. Sharif's remarks were made ahead of the high-level meeting on the new urban agenda, where cities and countries worldwide come together to discuss sustainable urbanization. Bjarke Ingels, founder and creative director of BIG, Bjarke Ingels Group, expressed Oceanix's commitment to designing modular maritime neighborhoods as a prototype for sustainable communities, drawing inspiration from Busan's unique blend of old and new. This approach aims to establish a connection between the city and the seaside, expanding the spirit of innovation onto the waterfront. The features of this floating city are as astonishing as the name sounds. Set to rise from the waters, Oceanix Busan will link to the mainland through bridges. Nestled in a sheltered lagoon, it's built to brave harsh weather. But it's not just about surviving nature's blows, it's designed for people. Each floating platform is a canvas for low-rise structures, blending soft lines, inviting terraces, and pockets of communal spaces for a seamless indoor-outdoor lifestyle. As time ticks on, Oceanix Busan won't stand still. Starting with 3 platforms for 12,000 folk, it has the potential to grow, sprouting over 20 platforms. These aren't just lifeless structures, they're dynamic hubs. Productive outposts, brimming with photovoltaic panels and greenhouses, can swell or shrink based on the city's pulse. It's not just a city, it's an interconnected system. 6 vital components, like zero waste and closed-loop water systems, dance together to create a circular economy. Energy? Check. Water treatment? Check. Urban agriculture? Double check. These interconnected systems will generate 100% of the energy required through floating and rooftop solar panels. Each neighborhood contributes to its water treatment, resource reduction, recycling efforts, and pioneering urban agriculture. It is also set to embrace innovative and sustainable materials in its construction, with a notable focus on biorock. This unique material plays a pivotal role in the restoration of coral reefs and marine ecosystems. By utilizing biorock for the underside of the floating city, Oceanix aims to contribute to the enhancement of underwater environments. The platforms constructed with biorock serve a dual purpose by not only forming the foundation for the city, but also providing regenerative living surfaces. These surfaces play a crucial role in creating habitats that filter and clean polluted port water, promoting ecological balance. In addition to its eco-friendly construction materials, the floating city plans to incorporate a range of sustainable features. The city is designed to derive energy from renewable sources, emphasizing a commitment to clean and green practices. Electric vehicles are slated to be a primary mode of transportation, aligning with the broader goal of reducing carbon emissions associated with traditional fuel-powered vehicles. The urban agriculture of Oceanix Busan will have a plant-based focus, contributing to a more sustainable and environmentally conscious lifestyle. Moreover, the city will implement advanced water filtration and harvesting systems, ensuring responsible use of water resources and minimizing environmental impact. Beyond its environmental initiatives, the floating city is envisioned as a comprehensive and vibrant community. The plans include not only residential areas, but also dedicated research spaces, supermarkets, and various amenities. The incorporation of intimate alleyways filled with local food vendors, crafts, and bookstores adds a cultural and communal dimension to the city, fostering a sense of connection among its residents. The estimated budget for this ambitious project is set at $600 million, underscoring the significant investment required to realize a sustainable and technologically advanced floating city. The timeline for construction spans from 2025 to 2028, signaling a meticulous and phased approach to ensure the successful implementation of the project. One other reason for the strategic choice of Busan as the location for Oceanix that we forgot to mention earlier is influenced by the city's potential role as a host for Expo 2030. Samsung, representing a substantial portion of South Korea's GDP, has a vested interest in showcasing its technologies during this event. At the end of it all, one thing is clear. Oceanix Busan Floating City aims to revolutionize urban living by integrating sustainable materials, cutting-edge technologies, and a holistic approach to community development. As a beacon of innovation, it aspires to be a model for future urban planning, offering a glimpse into a more sustainable and interconnected future. We can also confirm this with Mayor Park Hyung-jun's words during the unveiling of the vision in April 2022. According to him, "First to the future" is our motto. Teaming up with UN Habitat and Oceanix, Busan dives headfirst into this bold idea. Why? Our future, with rising sea levels and coastal city threats, demands action. Busan's mayor dreams big, aiming to transform the city into a smart, green haven and even bidding for World Expo 2030. That's not all. Bjarke Ingels, the brain behind Big Bjarke Ingels Group, calls Oceanix Busan a flagship project. It's not just a city, it's a prototype for coastal resilience. Embracing Busan's mix of old and new, it's more than a floating city, it's a connection. Oceanix Busan extends Busan's soul to the waterfront, becoming a beacon for sustainable communities, a living testament to a city embracing its past and future. As sea levels rise, traditional coastal cities face significant challenges, but this floating city is designed to rise with the tide. This adaptability ensures that residents are not only protected from the immediate threat, but also guarantees long-term sustainability in the face of climate uncertainties. Beyond its resilience to rising sea levels, Oceanix Busan incorporates cutting-edge green technologies, making it an environmentally friendly urban space. Solar panels, wind turbines, and other renewable energy sources are seamlessly integrated into the city's infrastructure, reducing reliance on non-renewable resources. This commitment to sustainability aligns with global efforts to combat climate change and establishes Oceanix Busan as a model for eco-friendly urban development. In addition, the floating city prioritizes self-sufficiency by incorporating innovative systems for water and waste management. Advanced filtration and recycling mechanisms ensure a closed-loop system, minimizing the environmental impact of the city and reducing its carbon footprint. This focus on sustainability not only benefits the local environment, but contributes to a global shift towards more responsible urban planning. Oceanix Busan also holds the promise of addressing the growing issue of urban overcrowding. By expanding into the waters, the city creates additional space for residential, commercial, and recreational areas. This spatial expansion not only enhances the quality of life for residents, but also alleviates the strain on traditional urban infrastructure. The result is a well-balanced, interconnected urban environment that fosters a sense of community while promoting sustainable living. The floating city is designed with an emphasis on inclusivity and accessibility. Thoughtful urban planning ensures that Oceanix Busan is a city for everyone, irrespective of age or ability. Green spaces, communal areas, and efficient transportation systems are seamlessly integrated, creating an environment where residents can live, work, and play without barriers. As expected, Oceanix Busan has attracted both praise and criticism. One major critique revolves around the environmental impact of such a development. Despite the intention to create a sustainable and resilient urban environment, constructing a floating city may still involve significant ecological disruption. Moreover, the logistical challenges associated with the construction and maintenance of a floating city are considerable. The engineering complexities of designing and implementing a self-sustaining, habitable structure on water demand meticulous planning and execution. The harsh marine environment, including saltwater corrosion and extreme weather conditions, poses unique challenges that must be addressed for the city to thrive in the long term. Additionally, the transportation of resources, waste management, and energy generation on a floating platform present practical hurdles that need innovative solutions. Another critical aspect that warrants scrutiny is the socio-economic impact on local communities. While the floating city aims to address issues like rising sea levels and urban overcrowding, questions arise about the affordability and accessibility of such living spaces. The potential for creating exclusive enclaves that only cater to the affluent could exacerbate existing social inequalities. Striking a balance between inclusivity and sustainability is imperative to ensure the project aligns with broader societal goals. While all the details of this project are still emerging, it doesn't end here. There is another floating city currently underway which has been causing as much buzz as the Oceanix Busan floating city. Introducing Japan's floating city, Dogan City. In response to the serious threat of climate change and rising sea levels, a Japanese startup has come up with an innovative solution, the floating city of Dogan City. This city is not only going to combat these environmental challenges, but aspires to be the healthiest in the world if it ever sees completion. The truth is, Japan, like South Korea, is grappling with a very big problem. And don't worry, we are about to reveal what this serious problem is. But before we get into the details, let's make sure you're subscribed, because what's coming next is something you won't want to miss. You're about to get the inside scoop on the serious issue facing this country. Now that you've done that, let's reveal Japan's problem. Global warming has caused a roughly 8-inch rise in sea levels since 1880, and this rate is accelerating. As we approach a potential 3.2 degrees Celsius temperature increase by 2100, the consequences are dire. Rising temperatures lead to rising seas, significantly increasing the risk of destructive floods, storm surges, and other severe impacts. Japan, with its densely populated coastal areas and 126 million people, faces the brunt of these environmental, economic, and social effects. Storm surges and coastal flooding are widespread issues, particularly affecting cities situated below or close to sea level. The recent typhoon Hagibis, the most powerful storm in Japan since 1958, wreaked havoc. Tens of thousands of homes were flooded or damaged, leaving more than $10 billion in losses. This catastrophe emphasizes the vulnerability of low-lying coastal cities, where approximately 1/5 of the population resides. Consider Osaka, a city of over 2.5 million people, historically significant as an economic and commercial center. It is the second most populated prefecture after Tokyo and faces a considerable risk of $200 billion in damage from coastal flooding. The central part of Osaka City is already below sea level, amplifying the potential danger. To address these challenges, there is an urgent need to reduce carbon emissions. Scientists predict global sea levels could rise as much as 2 feet by the century's end, and recent evidence suggests this estimate might be conservative. With a large portion of Japan's population vulnerable to climate change impacts, adaptation strategies must be implemented to prevent irreversible consequences. Japan's climate impacts are forecasted to worsen under high emission scenarios, leading to longer heat waves and agricultural droughts. Without urgent action, Japan's economy could lose around 3.72% of its GDP by 2050, with an estimated €404 billion in coastal infrastructure damages by 2050 alone. The key is adopting low-carbon policies swiftly. By limiting temperature rise to 2 degrees Celsius, Japan could reduce the cost of climate impacts to just 1.6% of its GDP by 2050 and 3.47% by 2100. Recognizing this urgency, Japan has explored an unconventional approach: building a floating city. Dogan Healthcare Floating City is a groundbreaking idea for a self-sustaining floating city centered on providing top-notch healthcare for everyone. This innovative city is in the works by a Japanese maritime startup called NARC. Dogan City will be a massive 4-kilometer, almost 2.5 miles, circle, gearing up to host around 10,000 full-time residents, with an additional potential 30,000 tourists dropping by at any given moment. Its circular shape is no accident. It's built to stand strong against harsh weather conditions and even tsunamis, although we don't have all the nitty-gritty details just yet. Now let's dive into the heart of it. Dogan City is not projected to be just a floating spectacle. It will be a beacon of sustainable and fair living. Imagine a city where healthcare takes the spotlight, with top-notch hospitals and clinics offering world-class medical care. On top of that, there's a buffet of educational and cultural facilities, along with various businesses and industries, making it a vibrant hub of activity. NARC dreams of Dogan City as a melting pot, where people from all walks of life unite to shape a brighter future. No matter where you're from, your nationality, race, religion, or how deep your pockets go, everyone's welcome to be part of this revolutionary community. Breaking it down, the project unfolds into 3 key areas. First, the habitable ring, where the main housing zone sits, creating the beating heart of the city. Then, there's the undersea data center, a cool, naturally cooled space hosting city management and medical research facilities. Last but not least, floating architecture within an artificial bay created by the circular structure adds a touch of architectural finesse to the cityscape. Now let's talk about the green side of things. Dogan City will be more than just concrete and steel. It's going to be a green haven with lush parks, food production facilities, and spaces for sports and leisure. There will be room for education with schools, spaces for play with stadiums, and a dash of luxury with hotels. Oh, and let's not forget about work. Offices are part of the mix too. Plus, to spice things up, NARC envisions a launch and landing site for rocket transportation. Hold on, we're not done yet. When it comes to healthcare, Dogan City is pulling out all the stops. Residents will have access to telemedicine consultations, cutting-edge blood analysis for early problem detection, and high-tech robotic surgery. It's not just about treatment. Dogan City is set to be a hub for drug research, pushing the boundaries of medical science. Set to materialize by 2030, Dogan City envisions a circular layout with a ring structure capable of withstanding tsunami waves. This circular design not only houses the main living areas, but also forms a protective bay for floating architecture. The city plans to carve out distinct zones: residential, commercial, educational, and healthcare, each tailored for specific purposes. Residential zones aim for a harmonious blend of high-rise and low-rise buildings, ensuring a comfortable living experience. Commercial zones boast diverse establishments like shops, restaurants, and businesses. Educational zones feature schools, universities, and other learning institutions. The healthcare zones, equipped with hospitals, clinics, and medical facilities, aim to provide comprehensive health services. Residents can access healthcare through wearable devices and video conferencing, with additional community health centers offering preventative care. Dogan City places sustainability at its core, relying on renewable energy sources like solar and wind power. The city plans to implement its own food and water production systems, aligning with a commitment to minimize environmental impact. Using recycled materials and enforcing a zero-waste policy, the city demonstrates a dedication to eco-friendly practices. As we mentioned a few minutes ago, much about this project is not yet known, but the New Ocean Consortium has confirmed that Dogan City is going to majorly focus on health and research to shape a new maritime economy. Picture the city as a three-layered cake with distinct roles. The top layer, a self-sufficient village nestled within a protective ring, serves as a living space. This not only safeguards against tsunamis, but also houses facilities for food production, energy creation, waste disposal, and a SpaceX-like landing site for rockets. Beneath the surface lies the second layer, a research and educational hub submerged underwater. This clever placement maximizes the cooling benefits of the ocean, reducing energy needs. City management operates here, although the specifics of this role remain a bit mysterious. NARC, the brains behind Dogan City, places significant importance on residents' well-being. Through daily telemedicine consultations utilizing sensors, genome analysis, and blood samples, they aim for preventative healthcare. Advanced robotic surgery and drug research stand ready for treatment when needed. Here's the twist. NARC's philosophy is that medicine, food, and housing all derive from the same source, the ocean. This vast body of water not only nurtures life, but also powers the city through solar and wave energy. Dogan City will boast an innovative cultivation method using seawater projected to yield 7,000 tons of food annually. Energy is estimated to reach 22,265,000 kilowatts, accompanied by an annual water consumption of 2 million litres and 3,288 tons of garbage. Curiously, NARC stays mum on a price tag for a home in Dogan City, leaving us with a lingering question. Though Dogan City is still in its infancy, NARC, born in 2021 to create a floating farm, is making strides. Securing funding and commencing platform construction, the company is pushing the boundaries of innovation. Operating under the New Ocean concept, they've united professionals from diverse fields to tackle the climate crisis. Their goal? Turn environmental challenges into opportunities for positive change in our way of life. What could this mean for Japan? As Dogan City is being designed to float atop the waters, it presents a revolutionary approach to urban planning. Unlike traditional cities bound by fixed borders, this floating marvel will seamlessly adapt to the dynamic nature of the sea. As global temperatures continue to rise, so do the oceans, posing a direct threat to low-lying regions. Dogan City, with its innovative design, will act as a protective barrier, allowing communities to thrive without the constant fear of inundation. This will not only safeguard existing infrastructure, but also provide a platform for future urban development without the constraints imposed by rising waters. Further, Dogan City will help in a long way to addressing the broader issue of climate change by incorporating sustainable practices into its very foundation. From harnessing renewable energy sources to implementing eco-friendly waste disposal systems, this floating city will serve as a model for environmentally conscious living. As Japan tussles with reducing its carbon footprint, Dogan City emerges as a shining example of how urbanization and environmental responsibility can coexist harmoniously. The impact on the economy is another noteworthy aspect of Dogan City's influence. As traditional industries face challenges from climate-related disruptions, the floating metropolis becomes a hub of innovation and economic growth. With a focus on green technologies and sustainable practices, the city will attract businesses and research institutions, fostering a dynamic ecosystem that will propel Japan into a leadership role in the global fight against climate change. Moreover, the implementation of Dogan City contributes to a shift in societal perspectives on environmental stewardship. The city will become a living testament to the importance of coexisting with nature, inspiring citizens to adopt more sustainable lifestyles. Educational programs and awareness campaigns centered around the floating city's eco-friendly practices create a ripple effect, encouraging individuals to embrace environmentally conscious choices in their daily lives. In essence, Dogan City emerges not just as a solution to rising seawaters, but as a catalyst for positive change on multiple fronts. It is ready to reshape the landscape of Japan, both literally and figuratively, offering a resilient and sustainable model for urban living in the face of climate challenges. The floating city sets sail into the future, carrying with it the promise of a greener, more resilient and environmentally conscious Japan. Surprisingly, Dogan City has only won a lot of support from the people. This is probably because the people have decided to see only the good side of the project for the time being. As we await more details on location and budget, the prospect of this circular utopia becoming a reality by 2030 adds an intriguing dimension to the evolving landscape of innovative urban planning. In the past few minutes, we've explored two innovative floating city projects, Oceanix Busan and Dogan City. But there's another project that's even more advanced and ambitious. This futuristic project is not just a concept, it's actually under construction right now. And it's pushing the boundaries of engineering and sustainability like never before. If you guessed Maldives floating city, then you guessed right. The Maldives has joined forces with Water Studio, an architecture studio, to craft a floating city resembling a brain, aiming to accommodate 20,000 individuals in a lagoon near the country's capital. The project set sail into existence on March 14, 2021. Fast forward to June 23, 2022, a fresh agreement was inked between the government and the Dutch Docklands company, tweaking a few details in the initial blueprints. In this new deal, the government handed over a 200-hectare lagoon close to Ara to the Dutch Docklands company for the project's execution. Teamwork is also in action as both the government and the Dutch Docklands join forces to bring this mega-project to life. This ambitious undertaking involves constructing 5,000 homes with an estimated cost hovering around $1 billion. The question is, why does Maldives need a floating city? Merely looking at the city from afar, everything looks pretty fine and in order. Perhaps there's more than meets the eye. Let's find out what we're missing. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, now's the time. The best is yet to come, and you don't want to miss the groundbreaking details of the Maldives floating city. The urgency of this venture is underscored by the escalating threat of rising sea levels that could submerge the Maldives. Yes, you probably didn't know this, but Maldives is also fighting against the threat of rising sea levels. A vivid example occurred from May 15 to 17, 2007, when swells ranging from 10 to 15 feet affected 68 islands in 16 atolls across the Maldives. This resulted in the inundation of up to 600 meters from the coastline, causing significant disruptions, especially in Gafu Dalu, Dalu, Ta, and Lamu atolls. While there were fortunately no human casualties, the flooding prompted the evacuation of 1,649 people, with 579 housing units sustaining damage. Additionally, saltwater intrusions impacted 33 islands, causing substantial harm to crops, agriculture farms, home gardens and vegetation, critical sources of livelihood and food supply. The restoration of livelihoods became imperative for affected families. Moreover, wave surges caused minor damage to harbours and jetties in 17 islands. Responding to the international appeal made by the Maldives government for assistance, the United States at that time had to contribute $100,000 through UNICEF for early recovery efforts. Currently, the Maldives, with nearly 1,200 islands primarily composed of coral sand, faces an average elevation of just 1 metre above sea level. Approximately 200 islands are inhabited, with an additional 100 utilised as hotel islands. Although locals note historical challenges with wind and water, erosion has accelerated due to escalating storms and floods. Efforts to address this issue have been underway since its identification, leading to the conception of the Maldives floating city. With predictions suggesting the Maldives Islands could become uninhabitable by 2100 due to rising sea levels, The government aims to extend an opportunity to approximately 20,000 individuals, both locals and foreigners, to relocate to the floating city as early as 2024. The construction, which started sometime this year, will position the floating city just a 10-minute boat ride away from the Maldivian capital, Male. This visionary project not only presents a practical solution to the environmental challenges faced by the Maldives, but also envisions a resilient and sustainable habitat for the future. The Maldives floating city is part of a group of proposals for floating cities, including the Oceanix Busan by Big and Samu, aiming to address the challenges posed by rising sea levels and global temperature increases. Dutch Docklands, the developer, asserts that their project distinguishes itself by unprecedented scale, rapid progress, and robust governmental support. Scheduled for completion by 2027, the city will consist of hexagonal islands, mirroring the geometric patterns of a local coral known as brain coral. When seen from above, these interconnected islands will form a layout reminiscent of a brain. Underneath the floating city, artificial coral banks will be affixed to encourage the growth of natural coral. The living spaces on these platforms will encompass various amenities such as residences, hotels, restaurants, shops, a hospital, a school, and a government building. This innovative design draws inspiration from the brain coral geometry commonly found in the Indian Ocean. The objective is to provide a sustainable and habitable environment for the local population as sea levels continue to rise. A collaborative effort between the Moldavian government and the Netherlands-based water studio, the project has been a decade in the making. The city aims to address housing challenges in the Maldives, offering an alternative for residents facing the impacts of climate change. The distinctive shape and structure of the floating city set it apart from other attempts at similar projects. With a focus on sustainability, the Maldives floating city plans to tackle the energy dilemma in the region. Given that 46% of energy consumption in the Maldives is attributed to air conditioning, the city will employ a unique approach by pumping cold water from depths of 700 meters to cool buildings. Additionally, solar panels will generate electricity, contributing to a more environmentally friendly energy profile. Each neighborhood within the city will have its sewage treatment plant, repurposing waste as manure for plants. This groundbreaking initiative is positioned to be the world's first floating city built as an island, differentiating it from similar endeavors in South Korea and the Netherlands. While smaller floating communities exist globally, from Peru to Vietnam, the Maldives floating city stands out as a testament to cutting-edge design, sustainability, and a collaborative effort between nations to address the pressing challenges posed by climate change. Ensuring safety and stability for a floating structure of this magnitude is paramount. The Water Studio website emphasizes the need to re-engineer the impact of forces of nature, including waves, extreme weather, and a projected sea level rise over 100 years. The design philosophy revolves around achieving a balance between rigidity and flexibility, incorporating a mooring system capable of diverting extreme forces. By breaking down the city into elements, it mimics the functioning of large megaships, effectively handling immense forces with minimal risks. Envisioned as a boating community, the island's primary transportation infrastructure consists of canals, providing multiple access points. The commitment to eco-friendliness extends to the restriction of cars on the island, allowing only bicycles and electric noise-free buggies and scooters on its white sandy roads. The Maldives floating city has garnered attention, with the first residential unit already on display and expected to be ready by 2024. The government of the island state approved the project in 2022, establishing it as a public-private partnership, PPP, with a design inspired by brain corals. Characterized by colorful, low-rise buildings, the city offers a resilient and environmentally friendly living space in response to the rising sea levels, increasing at approximately 3.1 millimeters per year. The incorporation of roads and canals enhances the city's connection to nature, resembling the efficient organization seen in brain coral. Dutch Docklands, the entity behind the project, believes that the unique shape of the Maldives floating city will elevate the international profile of the Maldives as a hub for coral conservation. The Maldives floating city aspires to serve as the cornerstone for future floating cities, a testament to resilience against climate challenges rather than succumbing to climate displacement. Envisioned as a dynamic city, this development boasts an intelligent power grid capable of adapting to varying demands and weather patterns. Beyond incorporating sustainable and cutting-edge technologies, the project places a strong emphasis on ecological practices to rejuvenate and safeguard the marine environment. The city's distinctiveness lies in creating blue habitats both above and below the water's surface, fostering coral growth through the installation of artificial coral reefs made from glass foam beneath the structures. These surrounding coral reefs not only act as natural barriers, stabilizing the city, but also enhancing security for its residents. Dutch Docklands experts stress the necessity of a modular system for a city comprising thousands of units to ensure quality, standardization, swift construction, cost-effectiveness, and efficient maintenance. The overarching goal is to minimize energy consumption, with any excess energy seamlessly integrated into the grid through the utilization of green-blue energy. Solar power generated on the island city itself serves as the primary energy source, supplemented by the innovative use of cold deep-sea water instead of traditional air conditioning. In addition to energy considerations, the city's design prioritizes resource and eco-friendly practices for the supply chain, storage, waste treatment, and disposal. The hexagonal floating structures are strategically positioned to minimize shadow impact, ensuring sufficient sunlight reaches the seabed. Further, the anchoring systems are engineered to be robust yet flexible, enabling the Maldives floating city to withstand extreme external forces. To make financing and insurance more accessible, floating houses and structures are legally treated as real estate. Non-citizens can secure a residence permit through property purchase, inviting the global community to experience not only the Maldivian lifestyle, perfect weather, and tropical surroundings, but also to establish a home in the Maldives. According to media reports, each house is set to be 100 square meters, featuring a front landing stage and a rooftop terrace. The anticipated starting price for these floating homes is upwards of $250,000. Meeting the legal requirement of a $1 million fee, the developers received their building permit from the Ministry of Tourism. A significant milestone was achieved in June 2022 when Dutch Docklands Maldives secured the final signatures required for construction commencement, marked by a ceremony in Malé. The first set of floating houses has been transported to the lagoon and is now open for public viewing. The entire project is projected to be finalized within the next 4 to 5 years. But what does this mean for the people of Maldives? One important thing we cannot overlook is the fact that beyond the impressive structures and the allure of living on the water, the Maldives floating city brings hope to its 500,000 residents. It promises spacious, well-ventilated and affordable residences for locals, each boasting a seafront view and a personal balcony. The concept of floating houses as real estate not only facilitates financial processes, but also aligns with the Maldives' strategy to welcome international residents. This initiative aims to attract individuals seeking not just a vacation, but a permanent connection to the Maldivian lifestyle. The legal framework supporting non-nationals in acquiring residence permits adds an extra layer of attractiveness to this unique housing opportunity. The meticulous planning and adherence to legal requirements, exemplified by the payment of the stipulated $1 million fee, showcase the commitment of the developers. The issuance of the building permit marks the transition from vision to reality, allowing Dutch Docklands Maldives to move forward with the construction phase. The significance of the project is not limited to its architectural marvel. It extends to the positive impact it will have on the local community. For a nation with limited land resources, the introduction of a floating city provides a practical solution to housing challenges. The promise of affordable yet spacious homes with captivating seafront views reflects a commitment to enhancing the quality of life for Maldivian residents. As the first block of floating houses stands in the lagoon ready for public viewing, it symbolizes a beacon of change and progress. The completion of this ambitious project over the next few years will not only redefine the Maldivian skyline, but also create a new standard for sustainable and innovative urban living. At the end of it all, we can say that the Maldives floating city is not merely a collection of floating houses. It is a testament to innovative urban planning, legal adaptability, and a commitment to improving the lives of the local population. As the project unfolds over the coming years, it will undoubtedly attract global attention for its unique approach to housing and sustainable development. It proves human ingenuity and determination can coexist harmoniously with nature while addressing the pressing challenges posed by a changing climate. Can we say the same thing about Oxagon? Be the judge as we delve into the last floating city that has been driving so much traffic worldwide. Although Saudi Arabia usually has little rain due to its dry climate and low rainfall levels compared to evaporation, it faced several unexpected floods in 2009, 2010, and 2011. These floods caused significant human casualties and extensive damage, with hundreds losing their lives and thousands of buildings, constructed on slopes or near riverbeds with proper permits, being severely affected. This occurred despite the challenges posed by the irregular water flow systems and the declining functionality of its hydraulic networks. To avoid future occurrences, Prince Mohammed bin Salman, in 2021, unveiled Oxagon, a floating city in Neom's southwest, blending people, nature, and technology. Positioned strategically on the Red Sea, Oxagon, shaped like an octagon, integrates a port, logistics center, and advanced manufacturing facilities. Initially named Neom Industrial City, Oxagon emphasizes modern manufacturing and research and development, focusing on expanding Duba Port. Prince Salman envisions Oxagon as a global trade hub, servicing Red Sea shipping routes. Plans include a desalination plant, a hydrogen plant, and an oceanographic research center. Autonomous, a cognitive multinational company, will be Oxagon's home, originating from Neom. The Oxagon port capitalizes on the Suez Canal as a key shipping hub. Concerns arise about its impact on the ecologically fragile Red Sea. Unlike some countries that consider environmental factors like wind turbines' effects on birds, there's uncertainty about Oxagon's environmental planning, reminiscent of the Line project. The Oxagon port, Neom's logistics hub, aligns with Saudi Arabia's 2030 plan for a renewable energy-powered region. While diversifying the economy from oil is a goal, current oil funds fuel grandiose projects. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman sees Oxagon as a catalyst for Neom and the kingdom's economic growth, aligning with Vision 2030. He states, "Oxagon will redefine global industrial development, balancing environmental protection, job creation and growth for Neom. It aims to reshape Saudi Arabia's regional trade, creating a new global trade focal point." He also added that, "Oxagon will contribute to redefining the world's approach to industrial development in the future, protecting the environment while creating jobs and growth for Neom. It will contribute to Saudi Arabia's regional trade and commerce and support creating a new focal point for global trade flows." Oxagon, divided by a substantial shipping canal, optimizes operations with terminals and an oceanographic research center. Connecting floating sections are smaller canals, forming a unique water network reminiscent of Venice, but with a distinct Arabian flair. The Clean Industries Hub partnered with Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Industry and Mineral Resources and Modon to implement the Future Factories program. This initiative aims to digitally transform Saudi Arabia's manufacturing sector, reshaping processes for 4,000 existing factories. A significant milestone was reached recently as Neom Green Hydrogen Company, NGHC, a joint venture involving Neom, ACWA Power, and Air Products, received an industrial operating license in Oxagon. Set to run on 100% renewable energy, NGHC will produce large-scale green hydrogen from 2026, yielding up to 1.2 million tons of green ammonia annually. Neom's coastal city is attracting international brands aligned with its people-centric and environmental values. Notably, Yotel, a UK-based global hospitality firm, is slated to open its inaugural property in Saudi Arabia in 2025, anchoring it in Oxagon's Research and Innovative District. Oxagon is set to play a pivotal role in energy and utilities through its partnerships with NEOM's Enowa, a joint venture with Air Products and ACWA Power. Enowa recently joined forces with Itochu and Veolia to establish a desalination plant in Oxagon, scheduled to be operational by 2025. Oxagon's onshore development is slated for completion by 2030, with offshore development well underway. The city anticipates its first residents by the end of 2023. The floating city aspires to be a trailblazing city for innovators, leveraging Industry 4.0 to harmonize technology, economy, and environment. By 2030, the city aims to attract and foster innovators globally. It plans to establish futuristic factories across 7 key manufacturing clusters, encompassing renewable energy, sustainable mobility, modern construction, water innovation, food production, health, and technology. Notable projects in Oxagon include the world's largest green hydrogen initiative and the most advanced modular building construction factory, featuring collaborations with Air Products, ACWA Power, and Gulf Modular International. Hyzon Motors, with cutting-edge fuel cell technology, will expand its manufacturing presence in Oxagon alongside Desert Technologies, setting up a state-of-the-art PV factory. Oxagon envisions redefining manufacturing's relationship with nature, particularly in coastal areas, aiming to showcase how industry, logistics, and 100% clean energy can coexist while respecting the environment. In the face of urban sprawl and habitat loss, Oxagon seeks to be a beacon, demonstrating how advanced technology and innovation can shape manufacturing processes sustainably on both land and sea. Its rules are shaped by the NEOM area's plan for a semi-independent future, aiming to foster innovation and spur business growth. Entrepreneurs and innovators will receive support from knowledgeable advisors and investment experts, guiding them from startup to expansion and taking care of all aspects of their business needs. Oxagon aims to be a one-stop solution, supporting companies in bringing the next generation of products to market across various industries. Oxagon's unique design allows the integration of land-based and sustainable blue innovation. This mixed-use development sets the stage for NEOM's blue economy, focusing on the responsible use of ocean resources for economic growth and ecological well-being. The creation of a floating city limits coastal sprawl, establishing waterfront communities efficiently cooled by the ocean's natural moderating effects. Offshore research and technology leverage the Red Sea's power, driving innovation in ocean exploration, marine transportation, food production, and tourism. The floating city is poised to attract global talent and businesses dedicated to blue-green economies, including sustainable seafood production, biotech development, and collaborations between land-based and marine industries. Oxagon's adaptability to sea level rise ensures resilience, offering exceptional living qualities and immersive recreational opportunities. Oxagon aims to showcase Saudi Arabia as a world leader in designing urban ecosystems, providing global cities with prime examples of developing blue economies where they hold the highest possible value. It crafts a narrative where waste isn't just discarded, it's reborn. Waste metamorphoses into a resource, not through mere recycling, but through a strategic alchemy that challenges the conventional concept of disposability. This isn't just about waste management. It's about embracing a circular economy where every end births a new beginning. As we delve deeper, Oxagon's sustainability echoes a global resonance. It's not merely about a company's carbon footprint, it's about imprinting change on a planetary scale. Water, the essence of life, finds a guardian in Oxagon's meticulous conservation efforts, echoing the urgent global call to protect this finite resource. Biodiversity, often the unsung hero in our ecosystem, steps into the limelight at Oxagon. Amidst the bustling NEOM landscape, the project is a steward of nature, fostering habitats and biodiversity corridors. Here, sustainability isn't an isolated endeavor. It's a harmonious symphony where each species plays a vital note, resonating with the broader global need for ecological balance. Now, Picture a skyline where buildings don't just reach for the clouds, they commune with them. Oxagon's architectural endeavours are more than just structures, they are testaments to sustainable urban living. Energy efficient, aesthetically captivating, and seamlessly integrated into the landscape, these structures symbolise a commitment to redefining the relationship between humanity and its habitat, mirroring the evolving global conversation on sustainable urbanisation. The pursuit isn't just about technological advancements, it's about crafting solutions that address societal needs. Access to clean energy, education, and healthcare becomes not just initiatives, but pillars that support the edifice of a socially sustainable future, aligning seamlessly with global aspirations for inclusive development. It also stands out among manufacturing centres by being the world's inaugural large-scale manufacturing hub that fosters economic growth while addressing the pressing issue of climate change, all powered by 100% clean, renewable energy. At the heart of developed economies, manufacturing plays a crucial role. And Oxagon distinguishes itself by focusing on next-gen technologies, positioning itself as a thriving hub for industries such as robotics, space, advanced buildings, and smart cities. What sets Oxagon apart is its commitment to innovation, aiming to establish a genuinely circular economy by strategically co-locating industries to maximize synergies. Moreover, Oxagon is not just a hub of industry, it's a pioneer in creating a city where daily life thrives. It aims to harmonize people, industry, and technology, making Oxagon the first industrial city dedicated to providing an exceptional quality of life. Sadly, even though this project has garnered excitement and attraction, we can't forget to mention that it also faces several critiques and potential challenges. One key point of contention revolves around the environmental impact of such a massive project. Critics argue that constructing a floating city may disrupt marine ecosystems and contribute to pollution, posing a threat to the delicate balance of the Red Sea's environment. Addressing these concerns requires meticulous planning and sustainable design practices to minimize ecological consequences. Another critique involves the socio-economic implications of Oxagon. Skeptics question the feasibility of creating a self-sustaining community on the sea, highlighting potential challenges in infrastructure, resource management, and social cohesion. The floating city's success hinges on overcoming these hurdles, necessitating comprehensive strategies for waste disposal, energy generation, and community engagement to ensure the well-being of its residents. The technological complexity of Oxagon also presents a formidable challenge. Designing and implementing the necessary engineering solutions for a floating city demands cutting-edge technology and precise execution. The risk of technical failures or complications during construction and operation looms large, requiring a robust risk management framework to mitigate potential setbacks. That's not all. The political and regulatory landscape could pose obstacles to Oxagon's realization. Establishing a floating city involves navigating a web of international laws and agreements related to maritime boundaries, environmental protection, and territorial sovereignty. Securing the necessary approvals and cooperation from neighboring nations becomes a critical aspect of the project, necessitating diplomatic finesse and collaboration. Aside from this, the coming of Oxagon has a lot to offer to Saudi Arabia as a whole. One of the key benefits is economic diversification. By establishing Oxagon as a hub for technology, innovation, and sustainable industries, Saudi Arabia can reduce its dependence on traditional oil revenue and foster a more resilient and dynamic economy. The project also holds the promise of attracting global talent and fostering a culture of innovation. With state-of-the-art infrastructure and a focus on cutting-edge technologies, Oxagon has the potential to become a magnet for entrepreneurs, researchers, and professionals from around the world. This influx of diverse expertise can contribute to the development of new industries and the expansion of Saudi Arabia's knowledge-based economy. Further, Oxagon is designed with sustainability in mind. As a floating city, it allows for the efficient use of resources and innovative solutions for waste management and energy production. By showcasing environmentally friendly practices, Oxagon can serve as a model for sustainable urban development, inspiring similar initiatives across the region. The project is also expected to create numerous job opportunities, not only in the construction phase, but also in the long run as Oxagon becomes a fully functioning city. The diverse sectors within the city, from technology to hospitality, will generate employment for a wide range of skill sets, contributing to overall economic growth and prosperity. In addition to its economic and environmental impacts, Oxagon has the potential to enhance Saudi Arabia's global image. The development of a cutting-edge floating city demonstrates the country's commitment to embracing innovation and fostering a forward-thinking society. This positive image can attract international investments and partnerships, further bolstering the country's position on the global stage. While the NEOM project's price tag is a whopping $500 billion, details about the specific cost of bringing Oxagon to life remain elusive, leaving us curious about the actual investment required. Despite setbacks from the pandemic affecting various projects led by Prince Mohammed bin Salman, there's assurance that active development is underway for Oxagon. The commitment to progress in the face of adversity underscores the significance of Oxagon within the broader initiatives championed by Prince Mohammed bin Salman. As developments unfold, the financial puzzle surrounding Oxagon's realization will hopefully become clearer. The concept of floating city megaprojects is a captivating vision that holds the potential to revolutionize urban living. These innovative ideas promise to address pressing issues such as overcrowding, land scarcity, and climate change impacts on coastal areas. By taking advantage of water expanses, these floating cities offer a unique solution to create sustainable and resilient urban spaces. The integration of cutting-edge technologies and sustainable design principles in these projects signifies a step towards a more environmentally friendly and resource-efficient future. The potential benefits extend beyond just providing additional living space. They encompass the opportunity to experiment with new architectural designs, harness renewable energy sources, and develop resilient infrastructure against natural disasters. However, it's essential to approach these megaprojects with a thoughtful and cautious mindset. Challenges related to the environmental impact, social equity, and the feasibility of such ambitious undertakings need careful consideration. Also, striking a balance between innovation and responsibility is crucial to ensure that these projects contribute positively to the well-being of both the environment and the people who inhabit these floating urban spaces. In essence, floating city megaprojects offer a glimpse into a future where urban living can be both sustainable and adaptable to the changing needs of our growing population. What are your thoughts on the floating city, and would you be happy to live in it? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more updates.